Typically when MAGA turns on Trump, he puts the blame on someone else and gets away scot-free. But today, he is absolutely panicking because, well, there's no one else to blame here but him. And not only are prominent controversial MAGA hosts calling it out, but some of them, like Ben Shapiro here, are going absolutely scorched earth on Trump to their millions of followers. And when internet superstar MAGA mouthpieces are burying you for your blatant corruption, while Congress is also investigating you for the exact same thing, it might be time to hit the panic button. Folks, if seeing Donald Trump shit his pants in fear brings you cheer, then drop a like and subscribe, and let's get into it.
And the Constitution in Article 2 talks about the president can't take emoluments or gifts from foreign leaders. And so there is a provision in the Constitution that says you can't do this.
Now, before we get to Ben going absolutely scorched earth on Trump and exposing him to his MAGA base, we do have to quickly recap what's going on here, because it's pretty insane.
In a major development that could escalate into a full-blown scandal, House Democrats are calling for a formal investigation into President Trump's plan to accept a $400 million luxury jet from the royal family of Qatar. A plane that would not only serve as a temporary Air Force One, but eventually become Trump's personal aircraft. That's the real bombshell here. According to Axios, Representative Richie Torres has formally requested probes from the Government Accountability Office, the Department of Defense Inspector General, and the Office of Government Ethics, demanding answers about whether this unprecedented gift violates federal ethics laws, or even the Constitution's emoluments clause. Torres is sounding the alarm, calling the aircraft a flying grift, and warning that Trump is using a taxpayer-funded loophole to convert a foreign gift into private property. Under the plan, the U.S. government would accept the plane now, on the public dime, and transfer it to Trump's private presidential foundation once he leaves office. And while the Qatari government is now walking back the story, claiming no final decision has been made, Trump has reportedly already toured the jet, known as a flying palace, earlier this year in West Palm Beach. This isn't just about luxury optics. This is about public funds, private gain, and potential constitutional violations.
And so the question is, can you do it if it's only for official purposes? If it came to someone in Congress, they can vote and the Ethics Committee can look at it. With his, there will have to be some kind of adjudication. This has never been done, and it's not like a ride on the plane. We're talking about the entire $400 million plane.
And now that calls for a full investigation are on the table, this story may be just getting started.
And what a start it has been, folks. Because Ben not only exposed the Qatari officials and Donald Trump from an unearthed clip in the same segment, he also capped it off by dropping an absolute bombshell on his very manipulative audience about how it's bad for their agenda. And frankly, with friends like Ben Shapiro, Trump doesn't need many enemies.
Qatar has been credibly accused by the Treasury Department, by international watchdogs, by regional allies, of allowing financiers of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and the Muslim Brotherhood to operate within its borders. Qatar essentially plays both sides of the table. They say they should be given leeway because they're the negotiation point for the West and terrorist groups, but then Qatar helps fund and house those terrorist groups, as well as doing the bidding of Iran. You know who says this, actually? President Trump. Here was President Trump on Qatar in June 2017.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road, or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism.
Yeah, and I'll share some more thoughts on that at the end, and let me know yours in the comments, but here is the moment you've all been waiting for, where Ben Shapiro reveals to his MAGA moron audience what we've all been saying for months, that Trump is not America first.
Taking sacks of goodies from people who support Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al Jazeera, all the rest, that's not America first. Like, please define America first in a way that says you should take sacks of cash from the Qatari royals who are behind Al Jazeera. It just isn't America first in any conceivable way. So back to the original question. Is this good for President Trump? Is it good for his agenda? Is it good for draining the swamp and getting things done? The answer is no, it isn't. It isn't. If you want President Trump to succeed, this kind of skeezy stuff needs to stop.
And it actually got crazier because Ben didn't stop there exposing Trump's corruption. He actually went on and talked extensively about Trump's crypto corruption.
You all remember President Trump launching $ Trump crypto 3 days before taking office as president. Trump himself announced the Trump crypto on X and Truth Social. He described it as a meme coin, meaning it had no inherent value. It was just there for the kind of bleeps and giggles. The price spiked to a trading value of nearly $13 billion, making it the 19th most valuable cryptocurrency on planet Earth. And then it proceeded to plummet, like really, really dive. The project allegedly netted people associated with it, meaning the Trump organizations associated with the Trump crypto, some $350 million. 80% of the outstanding supply of that meme coin is still held by insiders, presumably members of the Trump organization. Overall, according to data shared with CNBC, there were 2 million wallets that bought that Trump meme coin. 764,000 of them lost money. 58 wallets made more than $10 million. And then in April, that Trump meme coin announced that the top 220 holders of the meme coin would be invited to an intimate private dinner with President Trump at his golf club. The top 25 were invited to a VIP White House tour. According to Bloomberg News, 19 of the top 25 holders of that Trump meme coin that have registered on the website's leaderboard have bought the coins using foreign exchanges that claim to exclude U.S. customers, which means that foreigners are buying a lot of the meme coin and then getting meetings with President Trump, like VIP White House tours and all the rest. This raises the question of influence peddling. If you basically buy a bunch of Trump meme coin and then funnel money to organizations associated with President Trump so that you can have dinner with Trump, that doesn't look great.
And while I love that Ben Shapiro is willing to go just up to the line of questioning Trump's motives on this crypto coin when it is clearly a scam and a front for corruption, at least he is willing to call that out against the Qataris, which, let's be honest, are for a lot of other reasons for Ben Shapiro than actually caring about the corruption of it. Of course, I'm making an inference, but I think his background has a lot to do with why he dislikes Qatar. But that being said, this is something that we need to latch onto and spread everywhere. Because while we still have yet to find a way to directly stop Donald Trump, all of these scandals slow him down. They are road bumps in implementing his Trump-first agenda and furthering his hateful and corrupt regime. And if we can slowly but steadily pick off one MAGA at a time and prove that this is not America first, then maybe we'll have a chance at getting the fascist con man out of office. If that sounds good to you, then by all means, drop a like on this video so it gets out there. Subscribe to join our Really American Resistance. We're gunning for 1 million. And thank you to all of you who have supported us thus far. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you guys in the next one.